I think he needed a reset. I'm seeing him elevate the ball, which we've talked about this dating back to probably when he was in Double-A. When Brett Baty is not right, it's when he's pounding the ball into the ground. He needs to elevate the ball. And so far, in just a few games down in Syracuse, he looks comfortable at the plate. He's elevating the ball. Third base defense looks okay. But I think he's just got to rebuild that confidence on both sides of the ball, because when he was at the big league level towards the end, obviously the offense wasn't working at all. And he almost looked scared when a baseball was coming his way at third base. So I think this is going to be a good confidence boost for him if he could continue to hit, make plays at third base. So that way, when the Mets do inevitably call him back up, which I'd be surprised if Brett Baty were not called back up this year. Maybe it's 2 weeks from now when September call-ups happen or something like that. But I think he's coming back, and I think he will come back with a new level of confidence.
Right, and I'll say this, Joe, for Baty, and not to make excuses, because on the flip side of it, a guy like Francisco Alvarez seemed to rise above it. Baty was in a less than ideal environment this year. Let's call it what it is, right? And you could believe whatever you want about the Mets. That's not what this conversation is about, right? Like from a clubhouse perspective, what is there and present for us is this is a team that was a veteran team with guys that have made a lot of money and had a lot of accolades. And as they began to underachieve, it felt like a sinking ship very fast, right? Where it started to compile the media, and I'm not blaming the media. The media has a job to do, but the coverage becomes a little bit more intense of this team's not living up to expectations. You have a Steve Cohen press conference, middle of the season, all these things that start to compound. And you have a young player that is not only brought up to play, his first extended look at the major league level, but is now expected to be a contributor to a problem, right? People are looking at Brett Baty and saying, I'm not saying the organization necessarily did this, but by nature, it's what happened for fans and for the organization. Hey, you got to be part of the solution right now because other guys are not getting it done, with how many veterans underachieved to start out the season. And the list goes on, right? From Jeff McNeil to Mark Canha, who's not here anymore, to Daniel Vogelback, Starling Marte dealing with the injuries and struggles. The offense was missing a lot. And once again, Alvarez is kind of a unicorn because it's amazing how he rose above that and had clutch moments and never seemed phased for a 21-year-old. That's not the norm. For Baty, it felt like one mistake or one bad at-bat or one misplay in the field just kind of spiraled, right? And that's really a tough environment for a first-year player to go through, one that's still developing in the field, one that's been a good hitter his entire life, but is still dealing with big league pitching for the first time from an extended period of time.